very long. First of all, thank you very much for all turning up tonight. I know you've got other things to do, but we're going to try and make it quite special for you. I've got a few guests. It won't all be techie like you might think. So, but what I would like you to do is, if you have got some questions, because that's what I'm here for really, is to basically ask them when you feel like asking them, because rather than getting to the end and sort of like me being knackered. So, do that. What I'm going to start you off with, and this is something that we're going to give you free tonight. It's something that you might not have seen before. This is the only live appearance that we did, which is the only live performance, get my words right, of 19. It was done at the Royal Albert Hall for the 19th anniversary of 19 Management. So we'll let you have a look at this. And as I say, Peter's got, this is Peter Dudley, by the way. He's helping me out tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers, Peter. Yeah, basically Peter has got an iDisc and stuff, and you can actually download this from him. I've also got something else a bit special for you. So have a listen to this, have a watch. This is the only performance of 19 live. I did it with Logic. There was a few live keyboards. Maxine, my daughter, did it live vocals. And we just started off 19 basically on Logic, and it gave me the ability to do it at the Royal Albert Hall. Horn and people like that, they were using a synclavier, but they was also using a digital tape recorder. And the first thing I did when I bought this, I was quite lucky because my wife was moaning at how much I spent on it. I got the gig of doing The Wizard, which was the Top of the Pops theme for 7 years, so it helped pay for it. So I was quite lucky. But it was a big old machine, and it was great. And I only sort of chucked in and about, how long ago, Pete? Was it 3 years? 3 years ago or something. He was saying to me, you only need a Mac and stuff, and I'm going, no, I'm not sticking with this, I've paid all this money for it. But now I have changed over. It's still in my back room gathering dust, but it was a great machine, I have to say. It was fantastic for its day. But now obviously, you know, you can do instant recall on Logic and stuff like that, where I never had to be able to do it. I couldn't do it on that. So basically, and it had, the biggest drive you could get for it was about 60 megabytes. And that would have cost you about $3,000. So you can see how things have moved on in the time. Saw that I didn't think that anything was changing in 25 years. That's the problem I had with it. So that was one thing. My son has got a friend, his name was Georgie Sparks. Unfortunately, George died out in Afghanistan. He was 19. My son's 19. I thought, I have to basically mention what has happened here. So I got in contact with the family and I said, look, I'd love to put George's video, his picture in the video for remembrance, because they felt that George was being a bit forgotten. So we did that. I also got in contact with a few other people. There was a lady called Hazel Hunt whose son Richard unfortunately died. He was the 200th soldier to die out there as well. So I spoke to all these families and I said, look, you know, this is what I want to do. Do you agree with it? And they said, yes, totally, because we think that our kids are getting forgotten. You know, it's all right for the first couple of weeks and then bang. And it's like now, you know, the problems we've had with this record because of the election has been phenomenal. It's just like, you know, they're very scared.
That's it.
So yeah. It's a shame, because the fact is, you know, we are doing quite a lot to help people with this record, and it would be a shame if an election stopped it. So we're carrying on. Just before I got here, I actually had a call from the Sun, and they said that they was going to help out, so I've done an interview on that. So everyone's been good, but they can't fight the election. It's something that basically they're not allowed to do. So we'll have to see how it gets on. But anyway, listen, this is the new video of 19. It's called Boys to War. I edited it all on Final Cut Pro, and this is it. It's pretty stark, but have a look. They have to pay for their own insurance to go out to the most deadly job in the world, and I find that sickening, to be honest with you. So that's why I've stuck my neck out. I mean, you know, this for me is a whole different ball game, because I've been sort of doing stuff in America for the last 15 years. I mean, I've had great success out there, 9 #1 records on that chart. 4 million records I've sold, albums out there. So I don't have to go back to 19, but when I heard the story of George and things like that, I just thought, well, sod it, I'm just going to stick my neck out, as I always do. Worse luck. And basically, I just feel it's a worthwhile cause.
Do you think you could jockey it along and keep the powder dry till after the election?
Well, that is something. I'll tell you what's happened. I've already filmed for a thing called The One Show, which you must know. Yeah. That has 15 million viewers. Now, if that had come out just before this record. I had Sky News. Last night I was supposed to appear on ITV, and the funny thing was, I have to laugh about it, a friend of mine's daughter rung up and said, "I thought you was on, there's some Clegg bloke on there." Now, you know, that to me was funny. It was, you know, but, you know, you can't take everything seriously, so we're just carrying on. As I said, the Sun have been on today. We've had some great stuff come up, you know, helping us out. We had 875,000 Google alerts worldwide. Okay, so, you know, this record is most probably been played more in America and in Taiwan than it is via the BBC, but they haven't got an election. We've timed this terribly. You know, that really is it. But who knew that there was going to be an election? So that's just one of the things. But we're not stopping, and we're going to carry on because, you know, there's going to be people that benefit from this record. You know, as I say, the people that suffer post-traumatic stress disorder, you know, we're going to give some of the profits to them. There's Richard's family, George's family. So it would be a shame if a bloody election stopped these people getting benefits from it. You might agree. I took it to my record company, and I don't know, have you ever sort of gone into somewhere and people think you're crazy?
All the time.
Yeah, all the time, yeah. Well, seriously, I went into Christmas Records and I said, look, I've got this new record that I've done. Would you ever listen to it and see what you think? So I played them it. And it was just like, yeah. So I said, look, you know, I think it could do well. Now, this is how I met Simon Fuller. You all know Simon Fuller. He became my manager that day. He said, look, these lot don't know what they're talking about. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll be your manager. Let's go and get a deal and see how we go. So I did. I took his advice. And 4 weeks later, I mean, we actually did sign it back to Christmas because they found out there was a bit of vibe going on. 4 weeks later, we was #1 in 13 different countries. And they all went, yeah, we knew it was going to be a hit, Paul. Yeah. And that really introduced me to basically the music business and stuff. Now, people nowadays have got a great opportunity. You've got a piece of kit that you can buy, you know, like an iMac, even a MacBook Pro or whatever. You can make records on these things, right? I mean, that is really it. You know, you then can basically go straight from your Mac into YouTube or whatever you want to do, and your tracks are out there. I had to basically, when I started off, I had to go into and ask some guy and say, you know, what do you think about releasing that? Oh, well, I'll ask so-and-so. And it went round like 300 people, and they all, you know, too many cooks syndrome, so I'd always have different things. But I was lucky, I stuck to my guns. I said, look, if you don't release the record, I'm not signing to you. And basically they did. As I say, they all went, yeah, we knew it was going to be a hit. So this brings me on to something else now. Now, we're talking about Logic audio and stuff, and I had this in Clavia. Believe it or not, Peter, he started helping my daughter out with Logic, because I wasn't interested in it. I'm saying that I've got this big, huge towers here that nothing can compare against. And at the time, maybe it couldn't. It's moved on a lot now. So basically, my daughter gave me my first couple of lessons in Logic that Peter had given her lessons in Logic. So what I'm going to do for you now, I'm going to play you a track that Maxine did after she'd been working on Logic about 6 months. She's actually going to come out and actually help out in it. So I've brought her along. She's a bit nervous, so help her out. This is Maxine Hardcastle, and the track's called Another Chance. You need a microphone.
Oh, another chance. Excellent.
I think you're playing the mix, Peter, aren't you, mate? He's only the expert. So basically, you can see that. Can we have a bit more volume, please? So this is a low thing. That's better. So this is just your bass drum, just someone standing there going like that. And then let's have maybe a little bit of snare, Pete. Somewhere. Okay, so a bit of hi-hat maybe. So this is how you build up a track. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you know this, but some people don't. So this is how you build up a track. What about a bit of heavy bass? What about, I think, massive bass we call this. else we got? Actually, come on, just put some in, Pete. So, you got a tambourine. Someone standing there next to a mic doing this. Very boring, but it works. We've got Prodigy break. Have we got the Prodigy drums? Where did you put them? Pete's taking over here now. It should be a whole drum track of them, Pete.
Yeah, I've hidden that one, sorry.
Oh, where would we find that? See, what happened was I did ask Liam from the Prodigy to if he wanted to do a remix for me, and he said, "Oh, I ain't got time, man, all this." So I thought, well, I know how to do your drum track, so I did it. Now, have we got it though? It should say Prodigy drums somewhere, Pete.
So much stuff. Got lost in the...
Fills, massive machine, calls. This is what happens when you put lots of different things on there. Oh, you haven't got it? Oh, well, you didn't want to hear the Prodigy anyway. So basically a rim shot. What's riff 1, Pete? I can't remember. I put all this together and I can't remember what it did. Oh, that's that type of thing. So what's Dalek? What's Dalek going to do?
So darling, I saw that.
What does Dalek do? Oh, okay, it's that. What else have we got? Metal. Orchestra. Where's the big bang that you heard in the original 19? Oh, there was the orchestra stuff. We've got some more at the top, mate. Some more blue ones. Got some more blue ones up there. Maxine's getting everywhere, like an even they're going 19, can't you now? Get out of it, it's my show.
The average age of 19. My God.
So basically, all these tasks make up the sum of how you make a record. It's just basically, it gives you the ability to say, right, okay, I'll start off with a bass drum, I'll go into some snares, whatever you want to do. Ah, we found the Prodigy beat. Found them. Can you do that? You know the track Firestarter? That's one of my favourite tracks. I thought, I'd like them to remix it, couldn't. So, what happened to that, mate? What happened to the Prodigy drums? What episode? Sorry? Oh, okay, fair enough. So, that's basically the way we put a track together. I mean, this is more sort of synthesised and stuff. If it was a real track, then you'd have, sort of vocals, real bass and stuff. This is just something I've just made up quickly just to show you how it's done. Have we got any questions about all this? I'm sure we must have. Yes. I recorded it first of all on a videotape. 85. I'm losing it now as well. Jesus. Have we got that, Pete?
In 1965, Vietnam seemed like just another foreign war.
There he is.
But it wasn't.
Peter.
It was different in many ways, and so were those who did the fighting. In World War II, the average age of the combat soldier was 26. In Vietnam, he was 19.
So that was basically what I recorded in 1985 on a videotape. That's not the original one now, because what I did, I asked him if I could have the original from the film, which he gave me because he knew I was going to remix it. But that was the thing that actually gave me the first inspiration to make the track. That's the most famous bit of the record, I'd say, apart from the have we got the stutter, Pete?
Yeah, he's in there somewhere.
Where is he? No, that's just the word. Oh, it might be. Go and try it.
It's there.
I think that's actually just the word.
I'll take all the orange stuff.
So how many of these men had been incarcerated? But a Veterans Administration study concludes that the greater a vet's exposure to combat, the more likely his chance of...
I think it might have been that one. Is it that one? Oh no, that's just an echo. Oh, there he is. Right, it. Funny thing was, I remember going back quite a while, they had this thing in the Daily Telegraph and they had a picture of me in a cartoon and I was standing next to a speech therapist going, no, like that. It was funny, you know, you had to laugh at it.
You did it from. How did you, if you were the first stutterer in that, how did you do it?
I stuttered when you was born. Oh my God.
A lot.
Well, what I had a thing called an Emulator 2, which was a real one of the first samplers. And the reason that 19 was the chorus is because all you could get in that was 2 seconds of sampling time. So I wouldn't have been able to sort of like have any vocals really or anything like that. But what actually fitted in it was the word 19. So you had 19 and then it ran out of memory. That's all you had at that time. And that was the reason I thought, well, that's all I'm getting it. And I just started sort of going, no. I thought, hang on, there's just something's happening here. And yeah, it worked, I guess. Right, any more questions before we... Yes, ma'am. Oh, no. Basically, all I did with Gordon Brown was basically just repeated the video. Just cut that, yeah. It just made it very easy nowadays. So you just basically just cut him. In Logic I did it, you know, just spent half an hour just doing it. Oh, God, that's going back.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
not all.
Yep. After 19 came a track called Just for Money, which was, I think it was number 15, I think it got to. Then came a track called Don't Waste My Time, do you remember that one? With Carol Kenyon. Then after that I did a thing called The Wizard, which was the Top of the Pops thing. And then I thought, well, I've had enough of doing pop records, so I was lucky, before 19 I had a track called Rainforest. And which was another great thing from a record company, because they said to me, oh, don't ever make an instrumental track. So I thought, right, we knocked Madonna off the top of the American 12-inch sales chart when she had Like a Virgin, and I walked into that record company like this. Because I just felt great, you know, these people had all been saying don't do it, and I did it, and I've always gone against the grain. I guess that's my nature. I'll always do that. I don't ever conform, so... Anyone else?
Can I just ask how you approach composition?
How do I approach it?
Yeah, beginning, middle and end, or do you build...
Any way at all. I mean, I can start it off from a bass riff, from a set of chords, from maybe playing a bit of guitar, to a melody, anything. I've been inspired by a sound, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, I could sit there and sort of like hit this great sound. I think, wow, that sounds great. You know, that happened in the Return of the Rain Man. There's a few sounds in there that actually make the track. So, you know, when you've got a big armament of different sounds at your disposal, it becomes a lot easier. So any way at all, you know, there's no rules. People say, oh, you've got to start off from a lyric and all that. You don't have to start off from a lyric. It's just anything that you feel that you want to do, you should do. Anyone else? Yeah. There you go, original demo. So this is the first thing I did in my bedroom. It's got no vocals or, you know, or big bits, but it just gives you the idea of how it started off, and it got me a major deal.
The age of the combat soldier was 26. In Vietnam, he was 19. 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 19. The heaviest fighting of the past 2 weeks continued today, 25 miles northwest of Saigon. Wasn't really sure what was going on. 19.
So there you go, that's the original sort of demo. There's no big orchestra stabs, there's no girl backing vocals and stuff, but that was the original idea that I went in with, and everyone looked at me as I was crazy, but then afterwards they liked it, so there you go. Moving on. No, not yet. You don't? Well, saying that, you know, I mean, listen, this is the thing that's going on. You can't sort of disguise it, you know, we've sort of like, we've got an election at the moment, and you're not hearing anything about what's going on because there's an election on. So you know, you can moan at anything you do really, but you've got to put all versions out there, and people can just choose really, you know, totally. Anyway, someone at the back.
Obviously, you know, you're releasing Jazzmaster 6.
Jazzmaster 6, we are, yeah. It comes out in America in July.
Do you find it big kind of to do some like the smooth jazz stuff?
Okay.
So, do you find a big shock between, say, the UK support of your jazz stuff between here? Is it a big kind of like transition?
Yeah, yes. The smooth jazz stuff is America. I mean, that really is that. I mean, there's a small. I mean, we put out an album in about 2005, and I think we sold, I don't know, about 30,000 albums of it. But that's a big difference between like where I normally sell 400,000 or 500,000 in America. So, yeah, the UK, even Kenny G doesn't sell very well here, and he's the most, you know, he's the most best-selling instrumentalist ever. So yeah, you know, that's him. We have to be quick now because we are running down. But I will, you know, I will be up for signing your stuff and stuff afterwards. Yes, sir.
Not a question, it's kind of a suggestion.
Okay.
What would it take for like Paul Hardcastle and Apple to look up like a remix competition, get some parts and Logic, so we can all have a little go and
I'd be up for that.
Yeah.
I'd be up for that. Wouldn't be a wouldn't be a problem. The only thing is, it's slightly late now in the day. I mean, so you know, it wouldn't ever get out in time for like, you know, this release. But I mean, if it was just done as a competition for a bit of fun. Listen, this is the last time I ever do anything with 19, so I've got no problem with it. You know, I'm giving you the demo, which has never been heard before, and I just thought, well, as it's the end of an era, you might as well have this and just sort of be able to say, oh, listen, what you do with it is up to you, but if you post it on Facebook and things like that, people will just take it, and then it won't be special to you, you know. So I would keep it sort of a little bit exclusive to all of you. What you're going to have to do is either come and speak to Pete and get, or what you could do, Pete, can you write down your iDisc, or you can shout it out or something. Can we borrow the mic, please? And then you can basically have the original demo. Do you know what? I feel like Steve Jobs. This is really good. I like this.
Just one more thing.
I've got the water, you know. The new iPad.
Awesome, man.
Go on, Pete. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Pete. He's been great. He was the one that got me into Logic and stuff. So,
As Paul's just said, we're going to make some stuff available after this show, internet bandwidth permitting, and it's going to be available on my iDisc public folder. Now, are you all on Macs and know about iDiscs and stuff like that? A few vague looks, but most of you, I think, do know about iDiscs. Okay, the iDisc name is Logic Training, all one word. Okay, can you give it until tomorrow? Just logistically, I've got to get quite a few gigabytes of data up on my iDisc, you know, and it takes a little while to sort it out. But we're giving away, what are we giving away, Paul?
the demo,
The original 19 demo.
and we'll also let you have the video of the only one appearance from the Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah.
So just as a thank you for coming, because I do appreciate you all sort of taking your time to come out. So,
Thanks.
so if that's it.